Hey guys, this is Jen in Jacksonville, and you are about to watch a video about our spring green harvest and preservation 2025. So we will be going in the garden and harvesting all the greens. We'll be replenishing those greens that we pull up that are going to seed with some new spring broccoli and spring greens. And we'll be preserving the greens that we pick and canning those up at the end. So it's a little bit of a long video, but in the middle we also do a greenhouse update and show you what we got growing on. So hang with us. Enjoy the video and hope y'all are having a good fall spring. It's 80 some degrees here. Last month in January we froze and had a blizzard, and now it's warm. So good luck with your spring gardening. So it is February 8th, and just like last year, we are going through a heat snap after having an extreme cold snap, and it's fall spring. So all of my mustards are going to seed and flowering. My cabbages are getting ripe, so I want to go around and show you all what I have before and then after I harvest everything, because I'm about to can a bunch of greens and put up some cabbage. And I just wanted to give you a quick update of the garden before I do a massive harvest of these greens before they go to seed. My Swiss chard probably won't go to seed right here, but I am going to go ahead and harvest it since I am doing a massive green harvest in preservation. Right here I have some Morris heading collards that are getting really big. These always do amazing. If you want a collard green type of green that just gets massive and produces and produces and produces, I would recommend the Morris heading collards. They are sold a lot at the Lowe's. It's pretty standard thing for them here in the South. And Home Depot, I just saw them back on the spring shelf a couple days ago. But here is some more of the Morris heading. Over here, last year they got massive. I harvested and harvested till I just couldn't harvest them anymore. Here's my carrots right here. This right here is a bobcat cabbage. That one right there is a bobcat cabbage, so I'll be leaving them. I might be trimming them up some. I did just harvest the broccoli. I did wait a couple days too late, and some of it was going to flower a lot. But I just cut the flowers off and still processed all the broccoli. Down here, there's a lot of weeds in here, but I remembered that I planted Savannah mustard in here and beets and turnips. So after I get the weeds out, I'll actually see what I have left. Because after I get done harvesting, my plan is to transplant I have 6 Green Magic broccoli that I'm going to be putting in that I got as starts. And then I am going to be transplanting the baby seeds of the broccoli rapini and the broccolini and cauliflower that I planted from seed. So I will be also harvesting a bunch of these greens off of this picked broccoli that I just did. Going over here, I already started. I've got 2 piles going. I got a basket going where I just harvested these last 2 broccoli that was here that wasn't ready yet, and my kale. You can see my green sugar snap peas are coming up really good. But the next thing I'm harvesting right here is my kale. I've got Russian kale, lacinato kale, blue dazzling kale, and here in a scarlet kale, and I'm about to be harvesting all these leaves. I got onions planted here, but I am cleaning out. I just pulled out a mustard that was filled with aphids that had kind of become a trap plant that was going to seed, and gave it to the chickens. So I'll be cleaning out this bed. This is what my kale's looking at right now. Looking pretty good, filling out. I'm going to go ahead and give everything a good haircut today. And then I wanted to pan around to the cabbage. So my Savoy cabbage, I got 3 Savoy cabbages right here, and they are looking like they are ready to be picked, especially that one. So I'm going to go ahead and pick them before they get bug infested. This is another Morris heading collard, and this will make room for my broccoli as well. I still got quite a ways to go on my purple, I forget the name of it all the time, a purple cabbage. I'm also going to be harvesting a bunch of the Swiss chard, which will grow back. I'll be harvesting a bunch of these broccoli leaves and cleaning up some of this red mustard in here. These Savoy cabbage that are over here are not as big and ready as the other one, especially I'm not going to be harvesting that one or that one. But I might harvest this one right here because it's getting pretty big. So, and there may be more in there that needs some more room. Right here, I got a lot of those Bolero carrot. Those are just plain straight up seeds I got from Hoss Tools. And I think that right here I planted some radishes and maybe some mustards. And then I have extra greens growing in here. It's a volunteer deal. You can see right here, all these bok choy have gone to seed. So I'm going to pull all that out, harvest all the leaves, and plant my baby bok choy in there that I just started from seed. Here are collard greens. So I'm just going to give these collard greens a haircut. These are my blue collards from Lowe's, my Georgia collards. And then right here is where you really see my mustard starting to go to seed. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest as much of that as I possibly can and see what happens if it comes back or redoes itself or not. But before it all just bolts on me, because I know that like we've been in the 80s and that's when my mustard always goes to seed in February. So I'm going to harvest as much as I can, give a bunch to the chickens. Any of it that doesn't look good or is really too buggy, I'm going to give to the chickens. And I'll also be planting my red Pontiac potatoes in this row right here. I've been getting it ready. And yeah, that's it. I might be planting, I'll go ahead and probably harvest this lettuce that's in here and maybe plant some of my broccoli in here as well. So we'll see what I get done today, but right now I'm doing a massive harvest push. Then I'm going to be getting ground ready to put in seedlings because I've got more seedlings that I need to get started. Yesterday I started some more flower seeds and basil seeds, which I'll share with you that at some point. But right now I'm just getting ready to do my first big harvest of greens. I've cut off these mustard greens and made several batches of greens, but this is going to be my big first harvest preserving harvest, I should say. So that is what the garden is looking at like right now, and it's about to get a massive haircut and get turned around for some new seedlings. Okay guys, so been out here for a few hours, and what we have got done is the harvesting, and we have washed all of the greens. And usually I will stand at the sink either in my outdoor kitchen or my indoor kitchen and wash greens for hours, and it's a back-breaking, neck-breaking affair, and it takes a long time. But today I did it a little different. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you what everything looks like harvested, and then I'll show you how much we harvested, and then later I will show you what we get replanted. So here's what the collards look like. I pruned those collards and the one down there. I pruned a lot off of these broccoli plants that I had already harvested. And they still have plenty of leaves on them to help them grow side shoots. I didn't do a whole lot on the Swiss chard. I just did a little bit. I wanted to focus because these aren't going to seed. I wanted to make my main focus the stuff that needed to be harvested. So this is my Savoy cabbage bed, and I've already harvested the 2 or 3 golden acre cabbages that were in here and chopped them up and had them in the refrigerator. I did that a few days ago. Here is the pile that gets to go to the chickens and the rabbits. So once I actually chop these greens up, I will have another big pile of stems for them, but this is all the yucky leaves that they get. And then here is what the second cabbage and broccoli bed looks like. I harvested a lot of leaves off here. I harvested 2 heads of broccoli and 1 of the cabbages out of here. So that's what we got, and I cleaned up the leaves a little bit. This one still has a lot to go. This one just has a little bit to go. So I'm letting it go for a little bit longer, and then there's a third one there. So this one over here is a Morris heading collard, so it doesn't make a head. It just makes a little bit small cluster in the middle, but mainly it's for the greens. And then in my kale bed, I harvested a bunch off of these kale. And so that's what that is looking like. There's still some for me to harvest later, but I don't see them going to seed anytime soon. They can take a lot more. The mustard greens and harvesting these cabbages were the imminent thing. I did go ahead and harvest all the bok choy that was in here. I have some more bok choy, volunteer bok choy back there that I'm leaving alone for the bees and the seed to fall. So all of the bok choy that I harvested from here were volunteers that grew around in my garden from this bok choy that went to seed last year. So here is my collard bed. I gave these a pretty good haircut. And I also pressure washed all these with my, not with a pressure washer, but with my hose on the angle setting. You can get a good pressure and it points down, and that's what I use to wash all my greens. And I also washed all these plants pretty good and washed all the aphids off of them after I gave them a haircut to give them a good foot forward. So right here I harvested all of my red mustards. A few of them were going to seed, and the rest of them were getting ready to go to seed. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 of those plants out. I also gave my celery a haircut. And then what I have left in here, those are a few of the Mayama turnips. I just washed them really good, sprayed them really good with the water to get all the aphids off of them. These 2 bok choy don't look like they're going to seed, so I'm just leaving them right now. And then in this bed I have 5 curly mustards, and these did not look like they were getting ready to go to seed. So I just washed them really good with the pressure water and got all the aphids off of them, and then gave them a haircut. And I'm leaving them in there for now just to see if they do anything, if they produce more, or if they just go to seed. We'll see. But I didn't want to pull them out yet because they weren't. They tend to last longer, the curly mustard does, than some of the flat giant mustards or the red mustards. And also in here I had a few of these were giant red bok choys that I harvested. And then what's left in here is the fiddler kraut cabbages. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them left. I did give this guy, he was full of aphids, and I washed him really well and gave him a good haircut, but I'm just leaving the flowers in there right now for the bees, because generally my greens that go to flower in February is the first food that the bees get to eat, besides for my winter flowers that I planted out here. So all this is cleaned out. All that's cleaned out. There's still 2 Ragged Jack kale that were in here that came out of my microgreens, 3 celeries, and a couple bok choys and a couple turnips, but I do have room to plant some of my spring crops in there. So that is all the greens that we harvested. So right here is the 4 Savoy cabbages that we harvested. along with, and you can see this, these are pretty good size cabbages. I've taken the outer leaves off of them, so that's a decent size cabbage. These are all pretty good size cabbages, and I have two little broccoli heads that I had to harvest before they started flowering. And drum roll, here is all the greens. So this is cabbage leaves, collard leaves, several different kinds of collards, several different kinds of mustards, several different kinds of kale, and Swiss chard in here, and broccoli leaves as well. And so what I will do, I just went through this whole entire pile, held up each one in my hand, and sprayed both sides with that angle pressure on my water hose while I sat in the shade in that chair. And I did this in about an hour, maybe a little bit more, and got all that done. And now they're all clean. I inspected and washed every single one by hand. And all I have to do now is de-stem them. And what I do is I steam them, and then I will can some, and then I will put the rest. I want to do a good mess in the refrigerator for my breakfast, which I like to do breakfast bowls with greens, sauteed greens, turnips or radishes, onions, peppers, all that sort of thing with the greens. And then I also will put that over like some quinoa or some rice, and then do a few over easy eggs on top of that, and that is the best breakfast ever. So I will be having a mess of those in the refrigerator for breakfast. I'll freeze some, and I may can some as well, because I got a pretty good mess going on there. And then right here I have the celery that I gave a haircut to over there, so I will be doing something with that as well. So stay tuned. We will be replanting as soon as we put all these harvest up. I'll be trying to get some more stuff in the ground and planted for the rest of this afternoon. And then tomorrow I will be probably planting some more seed and doing some other stuff. So we'll talk to you guys later. All right, so we have finished de-stemming all the greens. So I sat out there in the shade and went ahead and de-stemmed about 20% of these outside. And then I came back in the house and cleaned up. We ate dinner, and then after dinner, I got my big basket of greens and some silver bowls and sat there and watched TV and finished them up at around 9:30. So there's two big old giant bowls. And then here is another giant bowl, and then a restaurant size colander. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steam these greens to wilt them down, and then I'm going to can a couple of canner loads, and I'm going to put a mess in the refrigerator and for fresh eating this week. And I am going to probably freeze some, whatever's left after I do about 2 canner loads, and get my refrigerator portion out for the week. Whatever's left, I'll probably end up just wilting and putting in freezer bags and freezing in quart bags. So before I do that, while it's still cool this morning, I'm going to go outside and do some work in the greenhouse and get my beds ready to do my transplants. And then I'll come back and do the canning in a little while when it gets hot out. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I got going on in the greenhouse. So stay tuned for that in a minute. Okay, so here is the walk right now. It's February the 9th, I believe. There are the crazy bulldogs. And here's what our planters are looking like. Just got some pansies and Johnny jump ups and snapdragons planted in them. My Serious Blue Sage is coming back. And in a couple of these, I tucked in some daffodil bulbs. So this is the same. It's got a calibrachoa coming back. I need to cut back this whole hibiscus plant. Same thing going on with here. I did plant a couple daffodils in there, but I'm going to get some more flowers for that bed or plant some that I've got going. And then over here I still got a yellow calibrachoa going and some Johnny jump ups and a not a hydrangea. And now I'm not going to be able to think of the name of the pink flowers. And then here's one with the sedum, snapdragons, and pansies. This one right here, the snapdragons have just bloomed. I need to cut that back so the new ones can bloom. The beautiful purple Johnny jump ups. Same in here, mums, pansies, Johnny jump ups. Same. Got another one over here. I need to cut back the old ones because those, after they got done blooming, they got bit by the frost. That's why they're not falling off. But geraniums, that's what I was trying to think of. So this is the biggest geranium. I still have a few left. I started a bunch of these last year, and that one's still looking good. It actually just got done. You see all the sticks sticking out. Just got done blooming. So over here in one of my big planters, I have a rosemary, some curly parsley, and I had another rosemary over here, and it got too dry, I guess. And then my dowd pepper was doing awesome until the freeze. It went through several light freezes, but it got killed by the freeze, so I got to pull that out. Right here is the green magic broccoli that I picked up at Home Depot the other day, and I'm going to be putting that in today. This is my raised bed container herb garden number 2. This has cilantro, some beautiful variegated sage, and there is dill in there, and then that is a onion, and then a fennel that I planted from seed, calendula, and another cilantro. So far in the green stalk, I still got my strawberries going. I got the thyme. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I planted out some Cherokee lettuce that I started from seed. I got a fennel up here. I got a cilantro that I planted from seed, and I picked up a lemon balm from Lowe's. Right here, I just have some tiny snapdragons. I just wanted to get them in there and get some size on them so that I could transplant them. Later, I'll separate them, but I wanted to get them out of those trays so they wouldn't get too wet. And this is a baby bok choy. I'll be planting that where my other bok choy went to seed, and some more baby bok choy. And then over here on my planters, I've got nothing going in the bottom yet. My pineapple plant got hit by the frost. And then in this one right here, I planted daffodil bulbs. So I went on Etsy and got daffodil bulbs, and from a actually really nice daffodil farm. And they were really beautiful big bulbs that were already starting to turn green. This planter up here is from last year that I did, that has the hyacinth and the these are tulips, and then I just planted another daffodil bulb in the middle of it. But the rest of these are the tulips from last year, so I don't know what they'll do, but they came back up. And then we got a good hard freeze, so we'll see if they do their thing again. These planters are the same. Just got some calibrachoas and Johnny Jump Ups and snapdragons going in there. And then I've cleaned out this tower, almost finished cleaning it out, but I haven't planted nothing new in there. So my white grow out towers are back and put into use. So what we got, I've separated out singulated all the plants, put them in individual planters. So this entire 72 sales is peppers. This one down here is peppers. I see that a tomato made its way in there by mistake. This one is tomatoes, and this one is calendula, nasturtiums, and that right there is a rosemary plant. I only had one rosemary come up, so I'm going to start some more seeds for the herbs that I didn't have good luck coming up with. Maybe the warmer weather will make a difference. And these are the pimento peppers from Hoss Tools, the Greek pepperoncinis from Hoss Tools, and the roulette heatless habanero from Hoss Tools. And then the ones in the center are hatch chilies. They are the Mexican mild hatch chilies peppers. I've had those seeds for a few years now, and they are still very viable. And I bought them off eBay, so very good seeds. I got the Hossinator jalapeno in here. Pretty much this whole tray is Hossinator jalapenos. And then the next tray is pepperoncinis and pimento peppers and Lola banana peppers. I got one guajillo pepper in there. And the same thing, all of these. My daughter dropped one of these trays coming out that had those 3 types of peppers in them. So both of those trays plus this row is all a mixture of the Lola banana peppers, the Greek pepperoncinis, and the pimento peppers. So all mild and sweet peppers. So that won't be a problem. And then these two, this whole 12 pack right here is the Arapaho Cayenne hybrid, and this one is the hot lemon pepper that I got from Burpee at Walmart. Alright, moving down here, this whole row right here is Buena Mulata, which is a hot purple cayenne looking pepper. This is the Lisa pepper. Both of these are from Baker Creek. The Lisa pepper is like a triangular shaped, smaller sweet pepper. There is a couple more hatch chilies on that row. I've got 3 dado peppers here, and then 2 more coming up in the back right there. I ended up with 3 of the hot cherry peppers. I got 3 of the hot cherry peppers I got from True Leaf Market. The Marconi, giant Marconis right here. And then this whole last row right here is giant Marconi. And then, looks like I got 3 more Buena Mulatas right there. And then on the tomatoes, I got Rosie Finch micro red tomatoes for my green stalk. I've got some indigo blues. I got sun sugars. The indigo blue is a blue cherry tomato from Hoss Tools. Got the sun sugar hybrid. Those are a orange cherry tomato from Hoss Tools. And then I got baby boomer, which is a Burpee determinate red cherry tomato. And then down here, that whole tray on the right, the little green tray, is all poppy. I'm super excited about that because my poppy seeds last year, they came up and they were so delicate that they ended up getting, when I watered them, they ended up getting all tangled up together, and they couldn't thrive. So super happy that my poppies made it this year. And then right here is the tray we're planting today. I got 2 rows of cauliflower in mixed colors, red, green, purple and yellow. I've got the tiny bok choy, and I've got yod fata broccolini. So there's my chives. They're coming back strong. At the top up here, I got tomatoes. Got large red cherry indeterminates, indeterminate beefsteaks, Dr. Witchy. All these are Dr. Witchy in this row as well. I got 2 string eggplants. These are the Chinese string purple eggplants from Baker Creek. They're like a stir fry. They're really skinny and long, and they are perfect for chopping up for stir fry. These are my favorite eggplants. I like to put them in my breakfast hash. I got 2 of the Sartler roast that came up for me, and I have an indeterminate Burpees Super Steak Hybrid back there. So of all of those plants that we started, the tomatoes, this is what we got. Beyond the small tray that we have over there of tomatoes, the little 12-pack, these are all 72 cells of tomatoes right here with a couple of eggplant thrown in. And we have another 36 cell of tomatoes right there. So we have almost 72 times 2 tomatoes out of all the ones that we started. Hopefully I can give some of those away. I got 1 of the Comstock rare seeds paste tomatoes. I've got 3, one didn't make it. I got 3 black creme tomatoes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Chef's Choice black. I've got some more of the rosy finches came up, so I got 1, 2, 3, 6 of those. These are more of those baby boomers red determinate cherries. I've got, let's see, the determinate Burpees bush steak. Okay, so basically this one is indeterminate tray. This is determinate tray. So these only get a certain height and put out all their fruit at once. These will continue producing as long as the plant can live, and they grow like a vine. So of my determinates, we got the rosy finch, which all these are going in my green stalk. These are micro tomatoes. And then we got the red cherry tomato, the bush steak determinate. We got 2 Celebrity Plus back here. We have a whole 6-pack row of Tachi, which is it's a hybrid determinate disease-resistant paste tomato that Hall's Tool sells, and they're determinate tomatoes that they sell with the disease-resistant packages. And then I got 2 Shelby's, which a Shelby is kind of like a paste tomato too. That's from Hall's Tools. That's one of those disease-resistant hybrid determinate. Saucy Lady, same thing. Celebrity Plus. These are also a determinate. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Roma VF determinate. So you can get these determinate Roma VF tomatoes at any of your dollar stores or Walmarts. And they do really well. And then I have 1 of the Bella Rosa tomatoes, which I didn't get any of the Bella Rosa seeds to germinate for me last year, so I'm happy to get 1 because that's supposed to be one of the best tomatoes that Hall sells. So we'll see. So this other 36 pack is got my Lemon Boy hybrids, or Lemon Boy Plus. So these are from Hall's Tools. This is supposed to be the next jump up of disease-resistant packages and performance on the Lemon Boy. And I got 12 of them. And then I got 12 more indigo blue cherries, which are indeterminate. And then I got 12 more Hall's Sun Sugars, which is the orange cherry. And then moving over here, I've got all of these are flowering kale. And that's basically the ornamental kale looking, cabbage kale looking things that people use for flowers in their flower bed in the winter. And then I got 2 blue bonnets. These are Texas blue bonnets. I've never grown them before. I just got some for Christmas, some seeds, so I planted them, and they're looking like some really pretty healthy plants. So we'll see how that goes. All the rest of these are bachelor buttons, and looks like I got a broccoli throwed in back there. Moving down, we have 2 more trays, and in the first tray we have our herbs that germinated. So we got fennel, dill, we got 1 Mexican mint, and let's see, and then a whole row of cilantro. And then we got 2 rows of snapdragons, so 12 snapdragons right there, and some microgreens, and we got some sweet yellow alyssum, and 1 gomphrena. Okay, and then the next row is gonna be, these 2 rows are snapdragons. These were supposed to be coreopsis, but the coreopsis wasn't doing very good, so only 1 of those survived. And then those last 3 rows, those 18 plants right there, are all poppy. I did a pink one and a red one. So that's all of my grow outs. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 8 of my burpee easy pop out trays full of singular transplants, and then I got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 of the 12 pack cells, singular cell transplants, and I got this 1 6-pack cell with my bigger transplants in it for my flowers. And I have 3 of the trays like this that are only 16 cells that are this big that I'll be up potting my tomatoes in whenever they start getting big, if they get too big for their cell before it's time to plant them. So up here I just have 1 more tray that from January that I'm waiting on to do stuff, and that is my pepper tray. So I've transplanted a bunch that have already come out of here, but we have a couple California Wonders that are coming and 1 Hungarian wax so far. So I'm just letting this be and watering it, because sometimes peppers take a long time and they like to wait until it warms up. Alright, so this week we planted cardinal basil, lime basil, and lemon basil in here. And then in here we got lettuce leaf basil, green organic tomatillos, and green organic tomatillos. So that's what we got going on there. And then in this big thing, I just bought this at Walmart just to have an extra tray to start some stuff in that had a top. And this will fit a 72 cells. I'm not sure how many are in here, because they seem like they're a little bit bigger. They're the decomposable ones. But I started nasturtiums, sweet basil, salt and roast sunflower, starburst lemon eclair sunflower, firecatcher sunflower, autumn beauty sunflower, and then I did 2 rows of cosmos. This is Daydream, which is a rosy pink, and then this one is a Picotee, which is a lighter color one. And then over here in these 2 rows I did zinnias, I did purple prince, and the Bennery's giant coral. So that is what we got started and the update on the greenhouse. and I will take you guys back to see when we do some of our transplanting. I'm going to go get ready, get the beds ready to do the transplanting so that I can transplant my broccoli and cauliflower and bok choy and the other green magic broccoli that I got, and some flowers. So that is what we got going on. And these white shelves, they come out in February and they stay until after mid-March, maybe even April, because that's where I put my seedlings on so they can get out here and get some fresh air and some wind to blow on them and get acclimated to the outdoors. And it works really well. And I got these at on a 2-pack, I think, from Amazon, and they've held up and worked really well. They perfectly hold a 72 cell 1020 tray on each shelf. So don't put any on the bottom because I don't want the dogs and critters to get in there. But that's what's going on with the greenhouse, and then I will talk to you guys in a little while to show you the transplants. Okay, so we are at the point where we are steaming the greens. So I just have the steamer in the bottom of this big pot with some water. I'm just putting the fresh greens in there, steaming them and letting them wilt down so that I can put them in my jars over here. I'm gonna do 7 quarts and then probably 9 pints, whatever fits in my canner, if I get that much. This right here is a whole pot's worth of greens after they've wilted down. So, and then over here I'm just taking each one of those bowls and giving them another good rinse with the with fresh water, and bringing them over here, putting them in the pot, steaming them, and then putting them in the jars. So I'll let you know how much we end up with. Okay, so real quick, while we're got our greens steaming in the house and we're jarring those up, I wanted to show you this morning I did get some of my transplanting done. So I turned over this bed right here and I fertilized it, put rabbit manure and also some biochar, which is wood ash, in there, and some expert organic fertilizer, but I haven't planted anything else in there. And did the same with all my beds that have stuff in it. I put some fertilizer and some of that wood ash on there. So in this bed right here, I planted cauliflower. So I planted 4 cauliflower plants right here. And then right there is my Savannah mustard that I planted in here before from seed. So that's what took right there. So I am thinking about planting some Savannah mustard and sell trays just to see if I can get some more of those. So my peas, didn't plant anything back there with the kale. I just fertilized it and cleaned out. There is a little spot where I could plant something else, but I haven't done that. Cleaned out this bed right here, and I want to add some more dirt to the end right there and plant flowers. Just haven't done that yet because I need to get some more dirt. And right here I planted the tiny choy, bok choy, that I got as a free seed from Baker Creek. I got about 10 or so of them. And then over here I planted a couple of the other cauliflower. There's one there and one there and one right there. So I planted, there's 2. There's one right there, there, and there. So I planted 5 of them in this bed where I had extra room. So I've got them in 2 different spots. And then down here is where I planted most of my plantings. This is my Yod Fa broccoli. Planted 2 of those right here. And I moved this little purple bok choy. It was down there with those cabbages. I moved it down here so I can get some more sun. And then I planted, this is my Green Magic broccoli that I picked up from Lowe's. So that is right there. And then over here, I planted more of the Yod Fa. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Yod Fa's over here and 4 of them over there. So basically this bed down here, besides for the cabbages and the celery and a few bok choys, this is going to be mostly the spring broccoli. It's got a lot of spring broccoli in here, spring broccoli in here. So other than that, I just did a little bit more cleaning up. I still haven't planted my potatoes. Maybe I'll get a chance to do it tomorrow, but it's not going to be a today thing because it is almost 6 o'clock in the evening here now, and I am busy getting all my jars filled with greens and wilting all my greens down so that I can get my canner going at least one time tonight. So just wanted to update you on the transplanting and the turning over of what we just pulled out, and I will see you guys whenever we get our jars filled. Okay, so there's our 7 quarts, and we have this batch here, and this is what they look like after you steam them. They're just very wilty. They'll shrink a little bit in the jars still, but it's good enough for me. In here is the last batch that's going, and they're steaming away. We'll steam it for a few more minutes, and then most likely all that together will fit in 1 gallon bag, and I'll just put it in the gallon bag and freeze it. I'm about to put these 7 quarts into my Presto 16 quart canner. I got some clean water in there and some vinegar, and we're about to let these things go, and that'll be it. That concludes the harvesting and the canning of the greens. So we ended up with that giant basket full, gave us 7 quarts and probably a gallon of wilted greens and another gallon bag of fresh greens that I have in the refrigerator. So it's a lot. It shrinks down a lot, and it's a lot of work for a little bit of payoff, but it's worth it to me. So I will see you guys on the next one.